So I'm Tyler, and I work with SalesPad here, and I cover sales for California. So I do work with Bond a lot. So today I wanted to do a webinar series here basically on how we can enhance GP for distribution companies. So SalesPad is an all-in-one solution for order entry, inventory visibility, purchasing, and sales management. Kind of want to start out today with just discussing, what is important to distribution companies. I think these three things kind of sum up, what it really takes to be an elite distribution company. Great customer service, low cost, and fast lead times. You could add an abundance of other things out there, but I wanted to sum it up in a few. So let's start with great customer service. What can SalesPad do to increase your customer service? We've got quick and easy order entry. That'd be the same for quotes, invoices as well. Easy accessibility to customer information, robust searching of your customer information and documents, and light CRM capabilities. I will show you all this here shortly once we get into SalesPad. For low costs, what does it take to run lean, workflow visibility and automation? You really want to know what's going on inside your business. You want to have visibility to bottlenecks. You want to have accurate inventory levels so you can completely fulfill your orders. The cost to process 2 shipments versus 1 because you're out of stock, those are the little things that start to add up. So what we're going to focus on today is SalesPad for desktop. I kind of already mentioned these things, but ultimately it's just easy access to all of your information, easy to navigate, easy to find what you're looking for and pull it up. So with that said, we do have extensions, what I call extensions of SalesPad, that definitely help improve the whole process as well. But we're just going to focus on the desktop version today, but just wanted to hit on these so that you were aware. So we've got a SalesPad Mobile app, which allows somebody with on a phone or an iPad to have access to their GP database, to have all the functions, most of the functions from SalesPad. Data collection, that is our warehousing solution, and that is used with either an iOS device or a Windows mobile device, something like that, to have in your warehouse for picking, packing, fulfilling orders, those types of things. We also have a shipping solution called Ship2, which that is going to integrate with your either UPS or FedEx systems, and it's going to automatically populate information from the orders to either site you're shipping from, and it's also going to write back to GP and SalesPad the tracking number as well as the cost of the shipments. We also have a product called Card Control, which is just credit card processing, whether that's inside of SalesPad or inside of Dynamics GP. Okay, so I will pull up SalesPad now. So to get a better idea, for those of you that don't know, so SalesPad basically it sits on the same database as GP, so it's pulling in the same exact field that GP would, where we also add fields of our own. So when something is created or updated or changed within SalesPad, it is immediately reflecting the same information within GP and vice versa. If I update, let's just say, a customer card on SalesPad, it's the same field pulling in GP, so you could instantly go and check and it would be updated in both. So there's no syncing or anything like that. So this is the screen I would call the home page, and this is just my customer search window. So within SalesPad, this is pulling in all of my GP customers. So what we bring to this window is really good, robust searching. So whatever you want to look for, let's say you're looking for a Frank. I'm just going to highlight them so you can see how quick my search of Frank limited all my users down to wherever Frank isn't a part of that customer. Clear that off. So another nice thing here is these grids. These grids are customizable. I can drag and drop things, and this is per user, so however a specific user likes to search, they can have that information in front of them. If they don't like it, they can simply drag it right off. One thing SalesPad does bring to the picture here that GP does not is we have unlimited user-defined fields. So anything that I want to create to track about my customer, I can, and I can just drag and drop that right onto my grid. So this is true for, there's a lot of windows within SalesPad where you see this functionality, the vendor card, inventory, that kind of thing. But the nice thing is you can pull these in and then sort by them, or I can filter. So lead source, maybe I want to pull a quick report, all customers we found through advertising. So I can simply put that in, and now it's sorted my list based on that search. So we see people create these user-defined fields for all sorts of things. So once again, you can search based on this. We call this the auto filter row. You can search in here, or you can do full searches at the top. I like to do this because let's say I want to look for Aaron Fitz. I can just start to type it out, and it's going to pull up here exactly what I'm looking for. So another thing to note, we do have security and settings around just about everything. So information, within your organization, different levels are going to have different information. Somebody in accounting is going to have visibility to a lot more information than what, maybe somebody creating quotes or orders or a salesperson in the system would need to see. We can restrict by user or by user group exactly what you would like them to see, or you can also make them read only. So if you don't want them to be able to change them, that can be something that can be done as well. So with that said, we will go into a customer card. I'll pull up Aaron Fitz here. Nice feature here, pop-up notes. These can be set on the customer card. Every time I open this customer card, the user actually has to OK out of this. Therefore, if you put pertinent information there regarding, shipping or, customers on hold or something like that, they're going to see it every time. That's essentially the little sticky note that's in GP. Okay, so here's my customer card. So on the left here, remember I was talking about security and settings. So you can see my user level has the ability, this is a read-only field. I can't change this one, whereas I can change other things. So that's just per field. A nice thing too, as users, let's say somehow this is set to credit card for their payment terms. Maybe I accidentally changed this somehow. Any change to these user fields also gets written to an audit tab. So if I come to the audit tab here, I can see anything that's been changed and by who with a timestamp. And I also have the ability to search here. So maybe I want to look anytime payment terms were changed. I can go check that information out. So back up here. So what our idea was here on this page to bring as much or as little information as what you want to see. So what I mean by that is you can see I've got about 8 or 10 fields on here. Well, I can customize this layout once again per user, so that each user could have it how they want. And I've got all these user-defined fields again, so I can start pulling things out here that I want to see for this customer. And I can pull anything off of here I don't want to see, so you're not spending time looking at fields that don't mean anything to your business. So here's just pertinent account information in the middle here. Then in the top right, this is also a very handy function. Same thing with the grids. I can change things how I want to see them here. But what's powerful about this is when somebody calls and you have this customer card open, maybe they having an issue or they're not getting orders, you just say, hey, I want to see, the last 5 orders. What's the status on those? I can filter by order, and then I can sort by document date. And just like that, looks like I've got one in the future, but just like that, I've got the most recent orders this customer has placed with me. And these blue hyperlinks are all, you can click on them and it's going to pop that document up for me too. So it's easy to search and find what you're looking for, and then just one click away from actually opening those documents. So this is going to pull in any open quotes, orders, or invoices. So We've got a bunch of tabs along the bottom, and I just want to hit on a few of them and how and why they're important. Simple customer addresses here. Same thing as GP. A nice function here is if you do sell to customers with multiple locations, which in this case, my customer's got multiple different shipping addresses, main addresses, billing. If I just highlight one of these, then when I do create a document, it's going to default to that address. So that's kind of a nice little function. I noted that we have light CRM. So I wanted to show you a little bit about that because that is important to any business processing quotes and orders, is making sure you're taking care of the customer. On the right side here, I have just simple notes. So these are just account notes that people have added over time. And you can create categories for what type they are. Once I click it, I can search my notes for pricing. Anytime pricing is involved, narrow down your list and start looking through these pieces of communication. On the left, we've got a task. So I can create tasks for a customer. And you can see here it's just a list. Red ones are in the past, green are today, and black are in the future. So when these are created, actually I'll pull up an existing one so you can see what that looks like. So it's just simple information. In this case, I wanted to follow up on a specific quote, and I've put notes on here too. Sent quote to Bob. Follow up with to see if this is moving. So I can set that for a date, and in this case, I have it set up for tomorrow. And you can create different types. You can create different statuses, and when it is completed, you just check that box. So the nice thing about that is that you get a list view there, but we also have a SalesPad Today calendar. So when I pull that up, you can now see my different tasks that I have scheduled on different days. And if I want to pull this up, I've got hyperlinks back to the customer card as well. So this integrates with Outlook. So most people, I imagine, like myself, I manage my own Outlook calendar. This way I'm not managing two calendars. I don't have one within SalesPad and one outside of SalesPad. It's going to, when I create these, it's putting that right onto my Outlook calendar for me. Another feature I did not discuss was the ability for these tabs. You can see as I'm opening things, they're just tabbing off. So I can have as many of these open as I want. I can be working on orders, quotes, answering the phones. I can have unlimited amounts of these open. I can also untab them. So if I have, 2 or 3 monitors, I can have separate screens running. It's a really nice function. So when you're in the middle of processing something, you want to pick up the phone and help a customer, you're just one click away from helping that customer, and then you can go back to what you were doing. So I'll go back to my customer card here and hit on a few more of these tabs. This is just the note tab. This is where the pop-up notes would populate from. So if I wanted to add to there, I could just add a note and put a comment, and that would be on my pop-up note. This AR tab is a nice snapshot as to what's going on with this customer financially. Well, once again, this can be limited, so certain users can't see this information or can't change it. I'm going to go back up here too and show you if I just hover over the customer, this gives me some nice aging information breakdown as well, year by year. You see a lot of our customers think this is a neat little function that they use quite often. Another really cool thing here, so I've got a total balance for my customer here of $350,000 basically. If I click on balance, this is going to pull up every document that is a part of that total. So from here, once again, a grid style, so I can sort by my largest ones and start going down. As I'm looking at these invoices or orders, and I can pop those open right from here. Close that. These next two, item history and sales documents, this is basically sales document history as well. What you can do is sort by, in this case, by item for a given period of time, and you can search based on different criteria. So most popular, quotes, orders, or invoices. Maybe I want to search, how many times has my customer bought a 40 gigabyte hard drive from me in the last 24 months. I've got quick totals now along the bottom with average cost and average unit price as well. So, and I also did not know any of these grids can be exported to Excel. So that makes it pretty nice to do some quick reporting or just quick finding the information you're looking for. So the sales, this is the same thing as the item window, except with sales. So I can see total numbers of orders. In this case, total numbers of orders in the last 12 months. And I've got totals then along the bottom and links back to all those documents. With our credit card processing, I've got this tab that will just gives me the transactions on that window of all my payments I've taken. This tab is so the user-defined field that you don't want to have on the customer card that you do still track about a customer, this is just a spot where all of those can exist so that they can be added. And those user-defined fields can be drop-downs, they can be dates, they can be pictures, they can be numbers, letters, anything. I'm trying to see. So here I've got a list of things I can select. Here's just I can type it in. It can be a date, all sorts of things. So we do handle, we've got several different things with pricing. We've got special pricing, we've got contract pricing, we've got all sorts of things. There's really not pricing scenarios we can't handle, and we can do all sorts of things like, buy 10, get free shipping, buy 5, get 2 free. We can do basically blanket orders, things of, for this customer, under 1,000 total for the year, maybe they're paying, $25.99 per item, and then every item over 1,000 in that calendar year, they get a price break of $2 per unit or something. So we can set up that kind of stuff. Begin dates, end dates. This email audit is nice. I'll show you how you can email quotes and orders and invoices out of SalesPad, and that can also be done for multiple documents at a time. So I can highlight, 7 invoices for a specific customer and generate, off a couple clicks, generate all those documents to be emailed right to the contact. So when things are emailed out of SalesPad, they're going to populate to this email audit. So I can see subjects, who it was sent to from, with direct links to a document, and I can even pull up the body of the email if I wanted to. In this case, it was just auto-populated information. We do have equipment tracking. I don't know that most distribution companies would use it, but this is if companies such as Comcast and things that rent out pieces of equipment, those can be tracked as well. Interaction is also a place for note-taking, or if I create I can create emails right out of SalesPad. So if I need to email the customer, I can do that, and it's going to log that email here as well as an interaction. This is a big one here, resources. This is something we added about a year ago. Essentially, this is document management. So on the customer level, on the document level, on the vendor level, et cetera, you have the ability to store documents for them. So whether that's signed contracts, or you run in a promotion, or spec sheets, product offering catalogs, you can put PDFs, Word documents, all sorts of things, and store it to customer specific. So that's the customer card, and then your main functions right here along the top are mostly what your users are going to be doing, creating. I've got my different quote types, my different order types, invoices, etc. So right from this customer card, I can just click on that, and it's going to pop open an order. So, quote looks the same in the system, so I just happen to create an order, but it's not going to appear any different. So from here, I can either type in my items, if I know what those item codes are, and just tab off. Same thing here with the grids. I've got a line for purchase status, which I don't want to see, so I'm just going to pull that off. Maybe even pull that one off and just make that how I want. I've got a shipping address, which will give me all my addresses on file, so I can select if the address is incorrect. And if I don't know, maybe I know I'm just looking for a hard drive, but I don't know, my customer needs a hard drive that's bigger than 150, and I don't know what I have, or I don't know the full line item. At any time, I can tab off of that, and it's going to pull up an inventory search. So in this case here, I'm searching wherever HD is part of it. So then I've got all these descriptions and all these items, which is still a lot. So maybe I want to search and just see if I have a 150 gigabyte hard drive. As I do that, I can see I do have a 150 gigabyte hard drive, and I do have an available quantity. And I can just select on that, and it's going to put it right to my order. So especially if a user knows items, they can be added, really quickly through here. Another cool function is we've got the sales entry quick pick. So based on the types of items you sell, I can use these pictured groups to add items. So maybe I know I'm looking for a T-shirt. I can click on that T-shirt. Now I can have them categorized by whether it's color, whether it's size. And as I click on these, you can see in the background they're going right to my order. I could change quantity. So if I wanted to quickly add 20, I can do that, and you can see I added 20 back there for me. So that is a nice feature. So I'm going to pull those items off. Just going to pull that one off too. So then if I save, it creates a document for me. So it's created an order DC 1473. So from here, a big powerful tool that we have here in SalesPad is Sales Monitor. So I can see, so these are the batches out of GP. So sometimes we call them queues. But this is going to show me what batch this is sitting in, and I can manually move this to another batch based on my process, or I can release this into my workflow, and we have smart rules. So I'll just show you this first. This is my Sales Monitor for my DC orders. This is the one we just created. So based on checking on these, I can get an idea of what's going on in my company. Where are my orders sitting? Where are my bottlenecks? In this case, it looks like I have 86 sitting in shipping. Now, if I'm a manager or a warehouse manager, I can take one glance at this and say we've probably got a problem out there, or we need some more people, or something's going on. We need to get those 86 orders out of there. So I was talking about workflow rules. So we can set rules around all sorts of things to help automate the process. For example, when I'm on this order and I hit release, I'm basically just saying move it to the next step in my process and evaluate these rules. Some of the rules that we can evaluate would be, if this is a new customer, send to an AR review. Maybe someone in accounting needs to verify that order before we process it out. It would automatically kick it. If it's a new customer, we could have customers over their credit limit automatically be pushed to an AR review. We see some people with 3, 4, 5 rules. We have some customers that have 25 plus rules that it's evaluating. Or if any items are back ordered, automatically go to a back order queue. That way you've got a purchasing manager that monitors this throughout the day, and he can see exactly in real time if he's got orders that need inventory. So this is powerful. This is actually why we were designed. We've got 2 owners. The one owner owns a distribution company, and in around 2002, he reached out looking for something to help him automate the process. He was using clipboards on a wall. When an order was ready to go to the warehouse for picking, he would move clipboards, and just didn't see it very efficient. So this is actually the #1 part of why we were designed. So we have our other owner who developed this originally for him to use in his business. So if I just hit release, it's going to prompt me, do you want to release? Yes, so it's going to evaluate my rules. I also have it set to automatically pop up because I like to just show here, I can preview an order confirmation. and we customize every printed form for you based on exactly what you would like. So just simple information here. You can add logos. You can add all sorts of things to here. And I can also email out of here. So if I just hit email, it's going to generate an email for me, and I can add content to that before I send it out. We can also set, based on those workflow rules, I can set every time an order is received and I hit release here, you can have it automatically email a default or a specific email address on file. So I know I've got some customers using that. They really like that. It takes one step away from them, pulling open a document, saving it, creating an email, attaching it. It just automates that process and sends it out for them. So I evaluated my rules, and this did not have any credit holds. This did not have any back-ordered items, so it automatically moved it to my picking queue. So now, once again, my managers or warehouse managers, whoever is evaluating, their departments on my sales manager, they already know this order is ready to pick, and they can start processing this order right now. So it takes the time out of between each of those steps two. We can set up email notifications. For example, when we do custom quotes here, I submit a custom quote, and when that quote is completed, it moves a batch, and it automatically emails me so that I know, so I don't have to keep refreshing or looking to see when my quote's done. It'll just send me a reminder, hey, quote 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is completed and ready for you to review. So once again, just taking time out of the overall process. We do have a counter sales window. This isn't, it's not a true POS system, but this is part of SalesPad. It comes with the product. There's nothing extra. We do see, T-shirt makers or, companies that run primarily distribution, but they have a small storefront. Or think of maybe like a brewery or something. They're going to have a little store with T-shirts, glasses, all sorts of stuff they sell, so they can do true point of sales purchases, in scenarios like that. So we've got a lot of customers that like this. It's just built-in functionality. I did hit on this too. We call it Sales Document Math Update, but this allows me to pull in a batch, and I can do multiple processing. So I can pull in a batch. Let's see. Let me grab one out of here. Maybe it's a shipped queue. And the warehouse manager, I don't know, for some reason, once they're shipped, he's got a little paperwork to do before it goes invoicing or something. He can come in here and take as many documents as he wants and move those to a new batch. So it takes some of the time out of keeping those accurate. Creating an invoice, that's just part of, you can manually create the invoice, or that's part of the workflow too. So as I push an order along, I automatically would come to a step where I'm creating the invoice and emailing that directly to the customer too. One part of our CRM I did not hit on yet is this tab up here. So we have opportunities and prospects that can both be tracked and created within SalesPad. So the nice thing here is you're not creating a customer card for every, if you do a lot of quoting or have a lot of people come to you looking for quotes and you don't sell to them all, you can keep your actual database cleaner. For example, I worked with a company, before they had SalesPad, they had 6,000 customer cards created in their system, and when we went live on SalesPad, they filtered through, and they only wanted to keep their actual, purchasing customers within the customer search. They only actually had 600 customers on hand that actually purchased, so they had over 5,000 customers, just adding information into their searches, making it more difficult to find those customers that are looking at it. So they brought those over into SalesPad as prospects, and then therefore they can create opportunities, which essentially are just quotes. And as an opportunity sells or a prospect makes a purchase, with one click of the button, you create a customer card from the prospect, and you can create a quote from that opportunity. Inventory is a big thing. Obviously, if you're a distribution company, you got to keep your inventory accurate and know where your items are and what you have in stock. Let's do this inventory first. So I've got an inventory lookup. If I just hit enter, it's going to pull up every item I have in my system. In my case, I've got 568. But this is going to bring a lot of information. So I'll just pull up my 40 gigabyte hard drive again. As I select on that, you see along the bottom here, now it's showing me, so these are all my different locations. It's showing me what I have on hand, what I have allocated, back ordered, on order, and ultimately available quantities. You know, if I receive an order for 400 hard drives, I know I've got, looks like 2 different warehouses that can ship, or 3 warehouses that could fully ship that order. So really easy to determine where you want to send that those items out of. And once again, hyperlinks too. So anything on back order, I can go find those orders that they're on. Allocated quantities, for example, I can pull this up, and it's going to show me where that, what document is holding that inventory. So this is a very deep dive. You know, we won't go into this at all, but you can see, you know, I've got item properties, item sales, sales history, all sorts of tabs, and reporting I can do on those items. So obviously with inventory is purchasing. Purchasing is very easy out of SalesPad. It's just like creating a quote or an order. I can search. You know, here's every vendor I have in my system, and I can start to filter and find, you know, advanced office solutions. Maybe I want to order some more purchase or some more hard drives from them. So vendor card looks just like a customer card. I can, you know, real quickly create an order, add a few items. Oops. From here, let's say I want to order 50 of those. So I save that, it creates a document. If I put which warehouse I want to deliver to. And just like that, I've generated this PO. And once again, using our workflow rules, you know, we can set this to automatically email the vendor a PO, and I would be done with this PO already. So you can see it's real quick and easy, very efficient. So then I've got purchase order search. It's going to pull in all my POs, and I can filter by ordered date, you know, requested ship date, guaranteed ship date, start to see what kind of POs I have, you know, coming in today. Maybe I can do my filter searches and see I've got, you know, 7 deliveries today I should be receiving. And then to do receiving within SalesPad is real quick and easy. You just pull up, let's see, find an order. So here's, you know, here's an item that I've ordered 5,000 of. You can see I've received 0. So if I wanted to just manually receive these items in, I can do that. Put in the quantity, select the bin that I am putting that in, and once I save, that's created a receipt within GP that simply just needs to be posted on the back end, and then that inventory is fully received for that PO. So I can also, if I wanted to, you know, maybe you did 5 deliveries or received 5 deliveries today, and it was these 5 or 6, I can receive selected. It'll auto fill in my quantities. I would only need to fill in the location that that's going to, and then once I save, I've received all of those. So the paperwork end is, there isn't much work there to be done. So once again, we do have our data collection product that I mentioned earlier. So that's what a lot of people end up doing. They use SalesPad, and obviously SalesPad is going to integrate with our data collection product, and that's going to allow you to do use it in the mobile device in the plant to scan items, you know, receive those items, POs, picking, packing, shipping, stock counts, you name it, all that kind of stuff, and it's going to automatically write all that information back to your GP and SalesPad database. So for reporting, we've got a reporting tab. We've got multiple different things that we can do. Most popular would be quick reports. I think these are almost identical to Smart Lists out of GP, but essentially you set up different forms of things that you want to track, and then you can have all these here. So, maybe I just want to see my top 10 customers year to date. Now I've just that quick, I've got my list here. So any of these, they're just different reports. A lot of them you can add in column. I can go to my column chooser, bring in more fields that I've created. So those are probably the most popular reports. The sales analysis report's pretty cool too. So this is just based on any time frame you set. You can pull in all these different fields. But when I refresh, it's going to pull in information. This one's kind of cool because anybody can figure it out. I've got these different fields, and I can add and remove. So if I want to track customer class, I can pull that in there, or I can pull it out, or I want to see costs of my items. And you can start filtering by, I can filter by customer, pull the sales rep off, and maybe just see total sales per customer. So it's going to list all of my sales and totals. We've also got these are a little more in-depth reports that we create for you. I've got this sales rep dashboard that we've created. So it's going to pull in, a lot of different information here. I can sort by different sales reps, so I can see their markets, what their sales are doing, and I've also got at the bottom here this graph, so I can see invoices versus orders, quotes, returns, and I can click on orders, and now it's going to show me which customers my orders are coming from. I can keep drilling in and start to see how large, and this is every one of their orders that they've placed with us. So it's real easy and simple and fast to get some visuals here on what your different salespeople are doing. You can see that there are tons of functions on all these different windows, but definitely just wanted to hit on some high level, some things that make sense for distribution companies, and some of the most used pieces of SalesPad, and not get into all of them.